friends, this is the Cryptonian taking a look at AAVE. Now, we'll do just a basic look at AAVE here. The intention for this video is just a basic update for AAVE, and then of course we'll go into a price prediction by request from a subscriber. So currently AAVE is $53.34, and we're seeing a little bit of a reaction here. That's because Bitcoin has put in a reaction, but we have to make sure that Bitcoin hangs on to this. We see here we have a push higher. It really is so far just a higher low. So it hasn't broken any structure, but here on the daily you can see that we have engulfed the bearish candle that was before that, right? The red candle before that. So this potentially could be a push up into the resistance line here, which would be around 27,200, 27,500, something like that. And if Bitcoin does continue to push up into resistance, then we can expect AAVE to follow Bitcoin into resistance. Now, if Bitcoin breaks out of resistance, if Bitcoin does something like this, breaks out, pulls back, confirms that breakout, and then moves higher, then it's going to be very bullish for AAVE. AAVE then would follow Bitcoin breaking out, confirming this, and then moving higher. Although AAVE does follow Bitcoin in a lagging fashion, right? So that being said, the big point of breakdown for AAVE would be $50.98. You can see that we went below that a little bit, and that is because basically we grabbed liquidity. You can see that here this previous point of pivot was broken just slightly, and then it went straight up, and that was a liquidity grab, right? That's to stop out all of those that are placing their stop losses just before the previous pivot here. Okay, and then they grab all of that liquidity, force everybody out of their positions, and then they move higher. This is a large player in the market, whether it's a whale or a fund or someone with access to a lot of money, a lot of liquidity, and then they push it up higher, and then they distribute up here, right? Start selling down. So that being said, $50.91 or $50.98, or $51 basically, is the line that we need to pay attention to. We could fall below that, grab liquidity like we did before, and then push higher, right? Something like that. Grabbing liquidity below that yellow line and then pushing higher up into resistance. Now, where is resistance on the upper end? Well, we broke resistance here. That was very bullish. And so you can see they're playing games, right? These are professional traders grabbing liquidity down here, and then looking like it's going to break out. Everybody jumps in, starts to buy, and then they're buying the bags from the larger player. Larger players making money, and those who are entering in here soon see that they're in for a loss, and it was just a fake out, a head fake, and it comes back down. So that being said, it's all about Bitcoin right now, right? If Bitcoin continues to break out and go higher, it could test that $30,000 level, or even 31.5, right? It's going to have a lot of resistance up in that area. It's going to be pretty tough to do that. But this is what I've said before. We could enter into some kind of a sideways type of a consolidation moving into Q4 of the end of the year. If that occurs, AAVE will follow. AAVE will do something like this, right? Coiling up for the end of the year, Q4, and getting ready for Q1 of next year. And I'm very bullish on AAVE, very, very bullish on AAVE. And so AAVE will put in greater gains, in my opinion, than Bitcoin. Although I do believe that Bitcoin does have a bright future because of all of the ETFs and things like that. That's going to be denominated in Bitcoin, so that's going to be very important. So that is what we need to watch. We're looking for AAVE for a break, for actually Bitcoin to break out and hold that breakout and move higher, and then AAVE will continue higher if that is the case. Very, very low liquidity here, very low trading activity, and we can see here that this price point has held several times before. So I do believe it will hold again at least once or twice. Excuse me, at least once or twice. Now getting into the price prediction. Now this is on the daily, right? Moving to the weekly, we can see the structure here. We can see that we had a massive 2020 going up here into 2021 Q1, and then a lot of distribution. And we've been in this distribution for a long, long time, right? So when we take a look at the distribution and where we are as far as the retracement values, we can see here that, let me go ahead and do this all the way up to this. So you can see that we're well below that 0.78 fib. So this was a failure, a bullish failure, right? So we are now going into sideways consolidation here on the weekly. You can see the structure very clearly. And we could have a river or a creek type of a scenario where we do this and then we punch higher. So like I said, I do expect this price level $51 to hold, and then at least for a few more times. And then when we get into the actual, like Q4, Q1, when AAVE starts picking up momentum, the market starts picking up momentum, we go into a year that's going to be a presidential election year, and usually that's bullish. Let's say Bitcoin ETFs get approved, a lot of money starts coming in, pumping Bitcoin. AAVE will be a direct beneficiary of that. And then going into the next bull run, we have to go into a what's called a Elliott Wave 1 first. That would be the first reaction here in the market. So we would go into an Elliott Wave 1, come back down, and then go into Elliott Wave 3, the really big wave after that. So the initial push higher, once we break out of this, the initial push higher could be to an Elliott, to a Fibonacci retracement of, let me go ahead and remove this here. We already talked about that. So getting into the price prediction, the first wave could bring us all the way up to a Fibonacci 0.3 to a 0.5. Fibonacci 0.3 to a 0.5, which is around $200 to $350 if it's really, really bullish and very aggressive, right? And then, excuse me, but if it is not aggressive, if it's not strong, if it's quite weak, then probably our phase one would be around 150 in that area, 150, 160 in that area as a first wave. And then the third wave, this is the one that everyone really wants to catch. The third wave could actually run, excuse me, once we're in full-blown bull mode, which is going to be probably 2025, where everything's hysterical and people are running into crypto and they're just buying, 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 a lot of hysteria. That will be the euphoria phase. And what I'm looking at is, geez, it's really hard to say, but in the previous pump, we went all the way to about 536. Actually, we went higher than that, $653. So just from pure statistical, technical analysis, we can see that we would go into, wait, let me redraw this real quick. Um, One moment. All right. So we would probably hit, being a very bullish phase, probably hit 2.6. That 2.6 fib is coming in around 1,800. 1,800. That sounds excessive, but we're actually projecting into, 2025, the end of 2025. So this is a projection that's not going to occur for a long, long time. Crypto needs to mature. Crypto needs to gain a lot of momentum. Crypto needs to onboard a lot of users. This is in anticipation or expecting the ETF to be all the ETFs to be approved, major adoption, positive crypto legislation. All of this, I think, needs to happen before we see a scenario like that, right? And like I said, this is far, far away. What is most likely to happen is we will be looking at much lower prices um, for that wave one, right? So we'll go into that wave one, which I think will be probably 150 to 200, come down, put in a lower high, excuse me, yeah, put in a lower high but a higher low, right? Come down, put in a higher low, and then move higher from there into that wave three. A powerful wave three, like I said, will be above the previous high, right? Will be above the previous high. So you're looking at, mm, I would say, yeah, yeah, at least 700 if you're going to match, 650 to 700 if you're going to match what the price point was in the previous bull run. 653 was the previous bull run. So 650 to 700, you know, on the lower side. But as a bullish extension, you're looking, like I said, you could go as far as, in crypto's very volatile. A bullish extension would be 2.6 Fibonacci, and that would be $1,800. On the more conservative side, you're looking at 1.61 extension, and that's going to bring you into 1,100. So that is a very drastic difference, right? $700 difference, which seems like it's huge, but really that's just the difference between your fibs on the upside for an extension move, right? So that's pretty much how that is a very loose, very general, very, you know, casual prediction. Okay, price prediction. So you can see that it's a very wide range of values, and the reason for that is because the the extension, we don't really know how far it will go. We don't know how strong it will be. And so you see, usually on the next bull move, you can see an extension, a conservative extension, conservative push higher target would be 1.6, which is 1100. And you can even go as high as a 3 extension, which I do not think that's going to happen. I would be blown away. There would have to be some really, really big, big news for us to hit a 3.6 extension, which we're dreaming, right? We're dreaming. So let's go ahead and dream. 3.6 extension would be 2,400. 2,400, which, that's just dreaming. And if we ever get to that point, you're looking probably at a decade down the line. So that being said, that is your price prediction. I hope that this has been helpful. Please click like on the video and subscribe if you have not subscribed. We'd love to have you. We're a new channel. We're trying to grow. And so that is what we would see as a price extension in the next bull run, a target, wide range, I know. And that is under the assumption that this level holds. If this level does not hold, then of course those values will be lower. If this $51 support level that we tested, this is the fourth time we're testing it now, if this does not hold, then that will affect the prediction going forward being projected, for the next bull run. So we have to keep that in mind as well. So if this does hold, then the like I said, wave one could probably be 150 to 200, and then after that we could go anywhere from 650, 653, the previous high, to 1100, right? Conservatively. So, thanks friends for watching. I really appreciate your time, and we will see you in the next video.